Hello, welcome to Make Kind Loud, conversations that turn up the volume. I am super excited. Today we have Stacy Raske. Hello, Stacy.
Hello, we are going to be loud. Yes.
Yes, we are. With a lot of laughter, I believe.
I am certain of it.
Thank you so much for saying yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, and thank you, right? Those are the two good ones. Yes to all kinds of opportunities, and thank you to good things coming in, right?
I love that. Exactly. So I'm going to read a little bit about you, and then we're just going to jump in and have a conversation.
Sounds good.
All right. So Stacy Raske is an abundance coach, business strategist, and boundaries expert who specializes in helping entrepreneurs struggling with scarcity, self-doubt, and overthinking create the confidence and consistency they need to reach their high-level goals. As an Iraq war veteran, she uses her unique life experience and recovery journey to connect with her clients on a deep level. She helps them uncover the root issues blocking their success and gives them a toolkit to stop getting in their own way and break the sabotage cycle for good, because they finally believe they're good enough to be successful. I love that, Stacy.
Woo! Thank you.
I love that. So you're the what is your title? What do you go by?
Just Stacy Raske, the Empowered Overthinker. I love the Empowered Overthinker. It's so resonant to that. I think, all the other labels, I mean, people get empowered, people allow abundance, people get out of their head, people. Yeah. I mean, there's so many, I don't know, the titles.
I love it. I love the Empowered Overthinker. When I read that, I said, that's awesome. What do you mean by that?
So, it's really funny. So, it takes one to know one. I call myself the Empowered Overthinker. I help people who are struggling with overthinking get out of their head. And really that came from my own recovery journey. As I was saying, I feel like post-traumatic stress, depression, anxiety, that's like the top of the being stuck in your head.
Yeah.
And recovering from that was really interesting. And what I discovered along the way, though, is there's so many positive qualities that can get us into that overthinking space. We're inherently high achievers. Now, the flip side of that is a little perfectionist and procrastinate, but there's, attention to detail. And there's also a lot of the very thoughtful and empathic and engaging and caring and giving and so many things, really positive qualities. So it's saying, hey, let's keep the good stuff. And through empowering ourselves with this amazing toolkit to get unstuck and get out of the sabotage cycles, get out of the overthinking, overcomplicating, overgiving for the sake of those limiting beliefs. Yeah. And the lack of boundaries.
Wow. I love that. Yes, all of that.
Awesome.
All of that. Yes.
All of that. Yes. Sign me up. Ditto. Totally get it.
Tell us your story. You're an Iraq war veteran. You lived several lifetimes. So tell us your journey and your story.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think what was the most interesting is, even though I was active duty in the Army and am an Iraq war veteran and have had some military traumas, going through my PTSD recovery, in a sense, when I processed through these like superficial traumas, what was really interesting is what welled up to fill the space was childhood trauma. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is way older than I think it is.
Yeah.
And so really that is where the groundwork was laid early in life, 7 and under, the beliefs and the poor coping and all of the different things that contributed to the struggles and suffering, self-created suffering that I was, this prison I created for myself way later in life. And so really that was the process, is like digging in and saying, okay, now what's the root stuff that needs to be addressed? Because again, I'm a high achiever. I'm an overthinker. I'm going to lean in and say, all right, I need to know the how and the why. I'm a science nerd. I mean, I'm a biology major. That's my degree. I was a pharmaceutical chemist for 7 years. And having that corporate job was part of that sort of downward spiral in my health, physical, emotional, and spiritual health. But, so yeah, the how and the why was important for me. Like I got to dissect it. I got to wrap my mind around it. I got to break it down, but then rebuild it in a way that's super simple, clear, and actionable that anybody can do it.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So how do you break that down for other people?
So I really love the simplicity of how I broke it down into my Empowered Overthinker method.
Okay.
And what I did there is I looked at what are the key challenges in this sort of overthinker cycle. And now keep in mind, the umbrella of overthinking is broad. Yeah. So someone may not identify as an overthinker, but they might be like, oh yes, I'm a perfectionist. I procrastinate. Yes, I struggle with expectations of myself or others.
Right.
The other aspects to overthinking are things like a terrible inner critic, that voice that's just beating us up all the time, or self-doubt. Right? The lack of confidence in moving forward, making decisions, or just knowing that you get stuck in these sabotage cycles where you're like avoiding taking action or doing what you need to do to get your goals. So I really distilled it down to 4 steps, and it's really a cycle, but I tend to start with the first step being awareness. We'll notice, what is it that just comes into our awareness when we notice, hey, I've been working on this goal for a while, I think, and I'm definitely not getting results, or I see myself, checking out, numbing out. That was one of my big things. I was like, I don't know what to do with my emotions or thoughts, so I'm just going to check out with food, with drugs, with alcohol, with, social media, TV. I mean, just something to just numb out, just check out. Whatever that we come into the awareness of just something's not working. And from there, normally we don't know what to do next, right? We see ourselves doing something and then then we go down the critical judgment cycle and beat ourselves up even more, like,
exactly.
Right. We should be so much further along. Like, look at all the work you've been doing. Why are you sabotaging again? Like, seriously? Like looking at sabotage is this really, really bad thing. But now you know what to do next. So first is the awareness, it's just digging in and asking ourselves questions like, what am I doing or not doing? Where am I stuck? How am I stuck?
Right.
What am I feeling? And most importantly, who am I being? And from there, we go to step 2, which is ownership.
Oh,
that is huge.
Yeah.
Yes. I think responsibility is something we have been programmed for so long to avoid responsibility for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And, in the ownership layer, it's really amazing too, because it's not only saying, okay, I am going to take full responsibility of, who I'm being, what I'm doing, where I'm at, from a place of curiosity and not judgment. I think it's like literally like coach code, right? Like everybody says it, like curiosity, not judgment. But the other aspect to this is letting go of the stuff that we are trying to be responsible for that really is not ours.
Yeah. That's big. I gotta say that again. That's big.
Yes. Letting go of all the stuff we are taking responsibility for that is not ours. The stuff we're trying to control that we don't have control over. Yeah. So this can be little things, hence the perfection and, the procrastination and stuff, like the little stuff, the details that it's like, really, we're getting stuck on details that really don't matter. just to stay small and diminish ourselves and not shine like we're divinely here to do. But also it's all the other things that we put all this energy and attention and effort into, like worrying about what other people think and do and say and feel and believe, and all the stuff we really don't have control over.
Right.
You know, it's exhausting, so exhausting. And so we give our power away trying to control that stuff. And then we take on responsibility for burdens that are others, like, you know, our partners, our kids, we do it, we just do it, but recognizing where we need to draw the line.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot to the ownership piece.
Yeah. And their stuff isn't your stuff.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, as much as we, you know, and that's like the ego, right? Like as much as we think we have more influence in our lives over other people, we really don't. Hey, oh, we've got such amazing people joining us today. This is so fun. Yeah, so awesome. Jason, Renee, so good. Hello. Okay, so then third step. This is huge. Stepping into alignment. That's the third step is alignment. And this is a tricky space for a lot of people because, again, if you're an overthinker, overachiever, perfectionist, you have structured everything based on shoulds. What everyone else and everything else is telling you who you need to be. You're functioning in the space of who you think you should be versus tapping into the truth of who you are and that letting you, your real self with you, right? We avoid that like the plague, right? Like getting honest, taking responsibility, like, oh, what do I really need? And being okay with that, again, without judgment. And we just don't do it. And some of us have no idea who the truth of us really is because we have this whole life built on shoulds. That was my rock bottom moment when I realized my entire life was built on shoulds. This corporate job, married, bought a house, you know, playing it safe, listening to everybody else. And because I was deviating so much from my truth, I numbed out. And that ended up, I was 100 pounds overweight with all these chronic health conditions and just falling apart till I lost my corporate job and my marriage was in shambles and my health was horrid. And I hated who I was being because I was so far from the truth of who I was.
Oh, wow. That's real. And that's deep right there.
Right? It is. And I mean, that's the symptoms, the depression, the anxiety, the sabotage, you know, all of this comes from being out of alignment. And so how do we get into alignment, right? The fastest way to do it is just pull yourself into the present, have yourself an Eckhart Tolle moment, right? Like be present and think of what you appreciate. Have some gratitude for something. And it doesn't have to be anything with you. It can be anything, but just have that warm fuzzy, right? Like, yes, okay, I'm good. I have this gratitude moment. And then if you're talking about business or purpose, make it bigger than you. What's your why? You know, the bigger than you, why you are showing up, why you're doing this. That helps bring you into that aligned space. And this is where you ask yourself, what do I need?
Oh.
What do I need?
And sometimes that's a hard question though, right? For you, it's hard to ask that and also to answer that.
Yeah, to allow the answer and to listen to it because it might be going against what you've been doing.
Right.
You know? And sometimes, you know, the action really is aligned, but it's something else that's out of alignment, you know, something we are not taking responsibility for or something we're not aware of. And then from alignment, you go into step 4, which is action. How do I move forward from that aligned space? Now you know what to do next, because a lot of the doubt, a lot of that, the inner critic flaring up and the inaction and the doubt comes from us choosing actions or goals based on the shoulds versus that truth. Yep. So, you know, and we can get stuck anywhere in the cycle. So it's, you know, it's awareness, you know, who am I being? Ownership. Why am I stuck? I didn't bring that into the ownership when we chatted before, but that's the main question. Why am I stuck? Like what's really going on? The alignment, what do I need? And then action. How do I move forward?
And how do you find people deal with this process? Do you I know everyone's different, but is there a moment when they get it? They're like, I understand now.
Actually, yes. That one of my clients in my group program literally messaged me last night. She's like 5 or 6 weeks into one of my group programs, actually Confidence School. And she's like, you said it would be like a light switch, and it literally just happened. She's like, oh my gosh, here was the situation. I started to get triggered, and all of a sudden I was like, and it's okay. And go through the Empowered Overthinker process and implement all these other tools that we've gone in. And she's like, within a few minutes, she's like, and I was fine.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It was just that moment of realization where she took her power back. It was so amazing. So amazing.
And how powerful is that?
It is so powerful. It really is taking your power back, because we always have the power to choose who we are being in our own life. We have the power to choose what we create in our lives. We have more power than we realize, and at the same time, we give it away all the time. And that's just what I help people do, is take their power back.
Because when you own your power, you can be more powerful in helping other people.
Absolutely. And that's really what it's about, right? I am all about leading by example. Everything that I'm doing is so I can live my purpose, which is to help others do the same.
Yeah.
It allows me, by doing this work, to take care of me and be better and do better. It allows me to show up to serve at such a higher level, which means I'm that ripple effect, right? We're changing lives. We're speaking loudly and saying the stuff nobody else wants to talk about, and being authentic in ways that other people crave, but are still trying to figure it out, and, it's shining brightly, but it's shining brightly in order to guide others to their truth.
Yeah, to theirs. Because
their truth.
Shining brightly in your truth, that doesn't mean that you want people to come towards you. It's that you're shining your light so that they can shine their light as well.
Yep, mirror reflection, right?
Yeah. Love it.
Right? So good.
I know. So you have a book coming out.
Oh, girl, yes, I do.
All of this. Tell us about it.
Oh, yes. Oh, goodness. Yes. So tentatively, the release week, like the launch week right now, is scheduled for the last week of June. I kind of want to schedule to get it out right before we go into, the holidays, 4th of July and all that stuff. And what I just talked about, the Empowered Overthinker method, is really thoroughly covered in this book, along with my foundational 5 R's for success, which is really the process of how to take your power back in a way to use the method more quickly and efficiently and effectively. Because, right, we've got to take our power back. We got to take control of us, the self-management, having some boundaries, letting some shit go, like all that stuff, having some good routines and some self-care, like there's a lot of this really good stuff in my sort of Empowered Overthinker way of approaching it, because I'm all about ease. I'm like, I am really great at overcomplicating everything on my own. So everything, that I present is like how simple, how you can just bring it in when you're already overwhelmed. We're going to make everything so hard. So how can we keep things really easy to get to the best version of ourselves? So that's going to be coming out. And so, people right now, we don't have the full pre-launch list and pre-order site up yet. So I'm just inviting people, to come to my website, stacyraske.com. Or if you enjoyed the Empowered Overthinker method we talked about today, you can actually get a PDF version. So you can actually go through the process and the worksheet and a really awesome training video of me just explaining it more in depth. If you go to empoweredoverthinker.com/method. right? empoweredoverthinker.com/method, and I'll pop it in the comments too.
Please do. Please
yeah,
do.
people can get that. So it's a free download. You get the PDF, you get the free training. I think it's like 40 minutes long. You know, it's kind of like you're breaking it all down, a little bit about me, so you can kind of fast forward and move around and whatever. And you have access to it as long as you want. So then to that point, you'll also be on the list, so you'll get notified when all the juicy stuff comes up for the book. So yeah, I mean, even in my group right now, like we're just, this whole month is method month, so we're breaking it down every day. Like we're breaking it down, so it's so fun. So
I love that. And I can tell your energy is amazing. You're living this. You're wanting to help other people break through their own stuff, because everybody has stuff. Everybody goes through something. But
yeah.
it's about the not getting stuck, and it's about the not sabotaging yourself moving forward, because we all have something to offer the world.
We do. And recognizing the fact that sabotage is not a bad thing. It's just a messenger that something needs addressed, right? Maybe we're not taking ownership of something. You know, maybe we're trying to control something that really isn't ours. Maybe we're out of alignment somewhere. You know, that's just, it's just about shortening the sabotage cycle. So, right. You know, my sabotage cycles years ago, I mean, that'd be months or years before I got back on track. And now it's like seconds, minutes, maybe hours, you know, like huge difference. But like allowing the sabotage to come and being like, oh, isn't that interesting? Okay.
Look at that.
Yeah, what's going on with that? So, you know, I mean, I had it Monday. I had a success hangover and had a bit of a low energy, kind of sabotagey disconnect day. And I just approached it with love and was like, oh, yeah, let's just rest. It's fine. We're good. No big deal.
Yep.
Back on track.
Back on track.
Yeah.
You have to take care of yourself too. And sometimes that means sitting down.
Yeah. Taking a nap.
And doing nothing.
That's what I did. I did the dishes. I took a nap. I ate some turtle cheesecake. I was good. Full permission too, like full permission. And that's the difference. So it's completely guilt-free and just saying, yeah, it's okay. I'm going to nurture my rebel and my inner child and just rest, and we're good.
I love that. It has been such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for taking time out and sharing your methods, because it is so important to take your power back so that you can be the best version of yourself possible in the world and help other people see that they too can be the best version of themselves as well.
Absolutely. It has been such an honor to join you as part of this movement. This is such a powerful thing that you are helping shine a light on and bring voice and movement and momentum to. So keep speaking your truth and keep shining brightly and keep this movement moving forward.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And I definitely will.
You're welcome.
Has been Make Kind Loud, conversations that turn up the volume. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for tuning in. We are here every Friday at noon talking to amazing people who are doing amazing things in the world. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.